I'm still thinking when you look at Iran about the Straits of Hormuz, the Persian Gulf, the Arabian Sea, then into the Red Sea. In terms of Iran's ability to strike at U.S. naval vessels, we've seen them harass aircraft carriers. We've seen them harass our surface ships. You pointed out rightly that the Houthis in Yemen have been firing at U.S. ships as well. As wonderful as these air defense systems are, and they are, we learned, and Natasha pointed this out with the deaths of 3 Americans, they only have to get lucky once. And just in terms of the amount of firepower that the Iranians seem willing to fire off, at what point do we worry that, and I hate to use this term, but that they get lucky?
Well, I'm worried about them getting lucky tonight because this is an absolutely disproportionate response by Iran to what Israel did to a proxy, to IRGC officers operating in Syria to do damage to Israel. So this very disproportionate Iranian response, if the leaker, if missiles or drones leak through and cause significant civilian casualties, it's going to force Israel's hand. I think they're going to strike back no matter what. I hope it's proportionate, just to kind of keep the kettle, keep the temperature down. But if they're hit, if they have civilian casualties here, they're going to need to do an attack back into Iran in a way that could really cook this off. And I worry about 2 things. The number one I worry about, though, Leland, is Hezbollah striking, joining in. Hezbollah absolutely works. Hezbollah works for Iran. There's no 2 ways about it, even more than Hamas. Hezbollah is a creature.
No, I agree with you. I keep thinking to myself, having been there and spent at least a little bit of time with these people, Hezbollah, which is here and can completely decimate Israel. Hezbollah is Iran's insurance policy. And the fact that today's attack didn't come from Hezbollah, but instead came from Iran, right? If they really wanted to send a message to Israel and start another war, they would have launched off Hezbollah. They sent rockets and everything else and the cruise missiles and the suicide drones from Iran. But they held Hezbollah's fire. And I'm wondering how you view that, at least as a little bit of Iran holding their insurance policy, because now if Israel attacks Iran, that still leaves Hezbollah off to the side as that potential then counterstrike to Israel. And at that point, and I still keep coming back to the United States, how does tonight end, right? And American troops aren't, over at least the next week or two, in a very dangerous situation.
Well, Leland, you're right to be concerned about this. I would say that the worst miscalculation Iran could make would be to draw the United States into this, because they're going to have enough trouble with Israel. And if they have to deal with Israel and the United States, it feels that it was either because our forces are attacked or the Straits of Hormuz is shut down, that we have to start taking combat action. And assuming the administration does the right thing and does that, then that would be a very big miscalculation by the Iranians to bring us in. I do think you're right about Hezbollah. It is that good insurance policy, because it could have done real damage to Israel tonight. It's much shorter range, more than 100,000 rockets and mortars and missiles, of which a reasonable number can reach Haifa and Tel Aviv and really stress Israeli defenses. So they held them back. You're right. I think they would be, I would imagine that Hezbollah goes, they use Hezbollah before they start attacking the United States, because in terms of risks to the regime, attacking the United States has got to be the most foolhardy thing they can do.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.